Wasn't that fascinating? Quick follow-up to the previous video on the impromptu, because there's just so many great examples and suggestions from people and tangents I could have gone off on, but I couldn't, because I'm stuck in your 3-minute max vertical feed of doom. First of all, a few more examples of impromptu imperfections that make tracks even more iconic, like this famous bossa nova duet between Elis, Regina and Antônio Jobim. Rarely can smiles be heard so loudly in a piece of music, and towards the end they both crack up and laugh while singing, particularly Elis. Love that she just lights up a cigarette in the middle of the song. So early Beatles song from when they still look well behaved. The lyrics alternate between that boy and this boy. I'm pretty sure they say a bit of both now and again. Of course, the casual impromptu studio chit-chat turned intro gimmick to ornate the beginning of many rap tracks.
I don't know how to start this. I have no snare in my headphones. There you go.
That Dylan track when the rest of his band completely misses their cue, but they use the failed take at the beginning as a sort of intro.
And I thought I spied some land. Start again.
Or this Ray Charles track, an entirely improvised live encore that over time has grown into one of his top 5 most iconic songs at least.
Hey, hey.
Rudimentary recording conditions at the time favored these impromptu moments, which brings me to the first artists to home record, back when recording your own multi-track music at home was inconceivable. Here are just a few of these people who paved the way for self-production and self-releasing, pioneering the lo-fi aesthetic in the process, and more generally outsiders of recorded music. Our Stevie Moore is the godfather of home recorded music, releasing over 400 albums of what could now be considered lo-fi indie or lo-fi pop, many of these works being discovered and celebrated a lot more today with the advent of streaming. Linda Smith is possibly even more intriguing. She started self-releasing home recordings of underground dream pop-esque music on cassette tapes in the 80s. Many of her tracks are haunting, not just because of the melancholy, but also the rudimentary setup that makes you feel like you're in the room with her. Delia Derbyshire, not exactly home recording, but a new way of recording, new things to record, and lack of fear in the face of imperfection. She was a sound expert that championed electronic music at a time when it was still considered strange, unpredictable, and unnatural. She was a real outsider and an irregularity in the music industry at the time. Her talent not always given the opportunities it deserved, at least not until very late, and almost always contributing her electronic renditions and sound engineering expertise to projects written by men. Which brings me to the whole concept of outsider music, which Alpha Media covered super well on their YouTube channel. So if you want a deep dive, go to that, because, 3 fucking minutes. 2 notable characters, and probably the 2 that touch me the most, are Wesley Willis, who released incredibly intriguing and heartfelt music that often talk about his battle with schizophrenia.
For some being ridiculed and called a bum and called stupid.
And Daniel Johnston, the outsider of all outsiders. The hard life and condition that he had to live through, not stopping him from making very emotional songs, of which the lyrics are very direct and hit so hard because they're not sugar-coated.
Not an artist growing old.
Because why the hell not?